think the conversation that I might have just had was a little bit jumbled. There was kind of like a whole bunch of things that I wanted to say, and I kind of pieced it together in some sort of order, but I think I darted about a little bit. But yeah, I have been talking to my uncle. I don't think I was really talking, to be honest. In a way, I felt like I was just on my phone the whole time, and he was just happy, which was good. But yeah, I don't want to insult him because I am grateful for the things that he has bought me. He buys me meals, and he's about the only person that I really see in my life right now. And he is a good person, and he's, I don't want to say, anything negative because I don't. His mental state though is not something that I feel is really treatable. I feel like he has to grow his own mental state. And if I'm thinking about homelessness and how people become homeless, if it weren't for the government giving him and giving him accommodation, giving him stability, giving him where he has to go in to see doctors regularly, he would just be another homeless person. He would be. And because of the government helping him, he's not a problem for anyone. But yeah, his level of rationalism is not there. We were trying. I said to me to take TK Maxx at 11, and I was 5-10 minutes late. I kind of did that because he said he would call when he's near, and because I'm only 15-20 minute cycle away, I was assuming that he would call, and I'm assuming that he would give me time to call, and he did call exactly at 0:00, and I was assuming he was in the centre, but I wasn't there, and I said I was 5 minutes away, and when I got in town he wasn't there, and I ended up waiting about 10 minutes, but I called him and his phone was off, and I just think things like that are very stupid. If you're meeting someone at 11:00 and you want your phone off, fine, but keep it on during the time that, if I've said that I'd be there in 5 minutes, and I'm already 10 minutes late, and if you're another 10 minutes away, something like this is nice to have your phone on because I can call you to find out where you are, and to not have it on, I feel like, how are you able to get a job if you're not, if something like the idea of keeping your phone on for 10 minutes scares you? He's paranoid the doctors are going to call him, so he keeps his phone off. But to keep your phone off when I'm 5 minutes away, but you yourself are actually 10 minutes away, like I was waiting him for 5 minutes or 5-10 minutes, and I was thinking, have I missed him? Is he? Because that's the sort of thing that he would do. You say you meet at 11, and if you show up at 11:05, he's gone. He didn't wait. He waited 2 minutes for you. You weren't there, and then 2 hours later he'll call you and say, "Oh yeah, I was there and you weren't there." So why didn't you wait 5 minutes? With him it's unpredictable, and I can't quite work him out sometimes. I've told him so much about my religion, my belief, and all he can really say is that he's been in a mental hospital and there's loads of people like me. So he can't tell the difference between my belief and my religion and all the mentally ill people that he's met over the years. He thinks it's kind of the same thing, but he recognises that I am able to look after myself and I've got a nice house and stuff. But I was having the conversation and I was trying to kind of talk to him about it, but I feel like it's just no point. There's no point because he's not going to believe that I am actually talking to people over, he's not going to believe that I am generally talking to a bunch of people calling themselves Elon Musk, posting about him, and yet somehow, even though I have no clue who these people are, we're having some sort of conversation, and it's linking in with, I don't know. He wouldn't be impressed by that. He wouldn't understand. But I was talking about the burger outfit. I showed him. He liked the picture of Katy Perry in a burger costume. But yeah, after we had this meal that I was only just about to eat, we went to McDonald's, and because that was the only place that we were walking back to the station, and that was as far as he wanted to walk. He didn't want to walk any further, so that was where we ended up. But yeah, he had £4.50 change. And he said, "Do you want a burger? Because I don't want this change." And just something so small as that, but it is quite a big thing to see. If you're don't have much money, or if you're living off the government, or if you're homeless and don't have much money, and if the idea of carrying £4.50 sounds I don't want to carry £4.50 of change. I want to just spend it on something because I don't like the idea of having loose change in my pocket. I mean, £4.50 is not loose change. You know, I don't like having a bunch of pennies, 1p, 2p's, maybe even 5p's. 5p's aren't that bad, but you know, I don't like having the brown coin. So I could understand like getting rid of that, but whenever he has a bunch of 10p's, maybe even 50p's, 20p's, he always gives it to the homeless people because he doesn't like carrying loose change on him. But I think to have £4.50 worth of stuff and say that I don't want loose change and basically want to give it to me just so that I can throw it away, I feel like just things like that just show why people might end up being homeless. I mean, if you have the mentality that £4.50 is nothing, and you just want to, you know, even though I just eat in a big meal, big Christmas dinner, I was only just able to eat it. He also bought me a big milkshake. I couldn't drink it. It was basically just an ice cream, and it was too cold, so I had to wait for it to. I waited 2 hours, and there was only 3/4 left. But I went to the spa and I kept it in the locker until it sort of went down, and or I wasn't expecting it to go down that far, but it went down 1 to 1/4. So two quarters was basically because it was like ice. It was like more of a thick thing. By the time it had melted down. But I went back to McDonald's and I sort of complained, saying I thought I just needed to wait for it to melt, and well, when it did melt there was nothing left, and then they gave me another one. So I got two medium ones, and I think once they've all melt down it probably equals about a large. But yeah, I think a lot of people wouldn't even bother doing that. If they've bought a milkshake and it's like a fake one or not what they want, a lot of people would just be like, I don't care. I'm not going to try and say anything. Or a lot of people might. I don't know how many people would be who have not that much money would think, I don't want loose change, £4.50. I don't want these coins in my pocket. Even though I'm just going on a train that's an hour away from where I am and I'm going to be home in an hour, I don't like the idea of carrying £4.50 of change. I mean, if he does that on a regular basis, these £4.50s are all just going to add up. You know, I did see him give a bunch of money, just a bunch of coins to a home, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing, and it's nothing. But £4.50 is quite a lot. That's different from that's different if you don't. And I just, homelessness is not a choice. But if you can't really think properly or rationally, you know, if you don't see the importance of having your phone on if you're meeting someone, and if you're scared that doctors are going to call you by having your phone on, then I feel like your mindset is not right to just get a job, and therefore mental illness probably is the biggest cause of this, and I think it is caused by people not having that many lives. I think my uncle has had more lives than, probably the same as my sister, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. But